Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. Good morning. Hopefully you've had a great week so far. Uh, Here's what's going on in the sports world. Sorry, just looking into stuff. Just great way to start the show, right? Pulling up something. So, a couple things more have come out with what's going on here in Indianapolis with my Colts. Um, Basically, after we talked yesterday, the press conference was Monday night. It was a complete disaster. There's a few things that have happened here since we've last been together. First off, the Colts selected, let me make sure I'm actually getting his name right, Parks Frazier, 30-year-old that will be calling the plays for the Colts. As you remember, Frank Reich, the former coach, was the play caller, head coach, ran it all. Great. High five. Awesome. Frank's gone. Jeff Saturday's in. Parks Frazier, 30 years old, was Frank's kind of assistant, been with the organization, sounds like he knows what he's doing, worked really closely with Sam Ellinger. He's going to be calling the plays. This weekend, the Colts travel to Vegas to take on the Raiders, and we still got all kinds of questions with personnel. Is Jonathan Taylor going to play? What are we doing with the tight ends? Ellinger is the quarterback, but more on that in a second. So, as the day went on, we found out Parks Frazier was our guy, but he did the research, young guy, not much of a resume. We'll see what happens. Personally, cool, good. Can't get any worse. We had negative 2 yards and a quarter. So go ahead, Parks, and see what you got. Maybe you're the next Sean McVay. Maybe you're not. But we'll see what happens there. Frank Reich talked with Mike Chappell here locally of Fox 59 in Indianapolis, said that he and his wife Linda are headed down to North Carolina to be with the kids, grandkids, a couple weeks. He was not, obviously, it was a disappointment, hurt, gave his heart and soul for the job, wanted to be here for a long time, wanted to live Lombardi's, all that stuff. Frank Reich is a heck of a guy, and he is putting that foot forward that he really truly cares about people, and he really truly cares about the organization and the team. He just didn't get the job done. So everything yesterday was insanity. All the local shows were ripping the Colts for the absolute randomness of hiring Jeff Saturday, the mess that was the press conference. If you haven't listened to it, you need to go back. I listened to it like 3 times now. Some of the things Jim Irsay was saying were absolutely nuts. And I don't think it's easy to go back and say, oh, he's not mentally well and he's all this stuff. I don't think so. I think he's with it. I think he is on a power trip right now where he talked about Daniel Snyder and everybody was like, yeah, let's go. And then he made a quarterback change and he's doing all this stuff. And now he's kind of wheeling and dealing, and this is his team. And he's putting his thumbprint on it. But as we talked about yesterday, he's most successful when he is not in charge. He is most successful when he has other people that are smarter than him making football decisions. So, last night, it came out that he called Bob Kravis of The Athletic and Mike Chappell from Fox 59 and had a phone call to clear stuff up. This is the owner of a football team calling the local media saying, these are things that I need to clear up. It's BS that we're tanking. When you put a quarterback in that's never played, it was a 6th-round pick. Okay. He believes Jeff Saturday is the guy. Okay, great. Jeff Saturday seems like a great human being and a heck of a center and a heck of an analyst. Hopefully that all comes out, that he really truly knows what he is doing, right? Here's the big one that I took away from his little phone call last night. 2 things, actually. If things go south at quarterback, he's not locked in with Ellinger. Matt Ryan and Nick Foles could play. Sam Ellinger is a fine quarterback, probably a fine backup. 10 to 12 year backup. If you need him, he's going to come with a spark. Heck of a guy. All indications are pointing to that. What is happening is he has got the keys to Ferrari, and he is not exactly ready for it. So the quarterback play really starts to slip. Can they move to Matt Ryan or Nick Foles? And a couple weeks ago, they said, no, I want you as my guy for the year. Here he is. He's going to, run the show no matter what. Well, now they're backpedaling. Now they're backpedaling, saying, well, if he doesn't play well, we can always put one of these guys in. Go back to the tanking for a second. You can't tell me that you're not tanking when you don't have Nick Foles playing. Why are you playing Sam Ehlinger? It was a 6th-round pick that we know only one of those truly has panned out for anything, that leads your team to Super Bowl. Why aren't you playing Nick Foles? I just don't get it. And here's the last one. He basically said that the ingredients are there for the offensive line. The talent is there on the offensive line. The people are there. It's up to the head coach to figure this out. So, is that a shot at Frank Reich? Probably. Is it a warning to Jeff Saturday? Probably. But this whole thing has changed my whole mindset about the organization that I like, that I cheer for, and the owner. I've always been kind of defensive, like, oh, the Deflategate did happen. This does mean that all these national people are ripping the Colts. And man, all this stuff, everything that's ripping Andrew Luck and ripping the Colts, I've always tried to defend. And I listened to all the shows yesterday. I tried to tune in the beginning of all of them, Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen and Pat McAfee and all these guys. And McAfee's different because he was here and he knows more. But all of them were just absolutely ripping the Colts, and I could just see myself agreeing with everything. You fire a coach, and now we find out you fired it over telephone. You didn't even meet him. You tell me that you're personal and it's family-oriented, and you love everyone, and this is our coach, and we're so thankful that he was here. Put our arm around him and my brothers in a battle and all this stuff and all this crap that they've been spewing, and the owner doesn't have 5 minutes to go to the facility, sit down, and tell the coach that he's fired. In fact, there were reporters that were coming back from New England Monday morning that got the word that this was going to happen before Frank knew. This franchise has lost its mind. It's lost its mind. I thought that it slipped down to that second tier. It's down to the third tier. It is an absolute Al Davis type blow up where he just does what he wanted to do. Steinbrenner for the Yankees. If he got mad at him, how many times did he fire Woody Herzog? Like 4 times? I mean, at the end of the day, if the owner is stable, like Irsay has been, and like how these real good franchises are, then everything falls underneath it. He got mad and ripped Daniel Snyder by saying that he was making emotional choices and not thinking things through. And that's exactly what he's doing. I am so frustrated and fed up with the product. And now all this crap that's happened in those last 3 days. This franchise is a laughingstock. You not only get rid of your coach by a phone call after you claim family and love and unity and all this stuff. You have a press conference that is an absolute just defense mechanism of you telling people how great you are and why this franchise is awesome and why this has to work. Well, he has no experience. Why are you hiring him? Because he doesn't know all the analytics and doesn't have the fear. Played the NFL for like 13 years. He knows the fear of the game. And you have a whole analytics department right down the street. Right down the office. And none of your analytics people really cared that you said this, that you totally ripped analytics? Oh, we don't use analytics. I mean, he didn't say we don't use analytics, but he was saying that the coach now doesn't have to worry about analytics. And this was the biggest mess. And then Chris Ballard is from Texas, and he's aggressive, and he's out there with his country draw, and he's telling people, here's what's going on, and he's always telling you, here's what he's doing. Kind of a little defensive here and there. The other night, he was just sitting there. He was sitting there like a puppy that got smacked on the nose with a newspaper. He was sitting there like a toddler that got his gaming system taken away. He was just absolutely in the spotlight and didn't want to be. So Jim Irsay sees all this negative publicity all day yesterday, calls our local reporters to get his side of the story out. And now, here we are, 2 days later. Today's the first press conference with Jeff Saturday. It's the first practice, so we're actually going to see what changes on the field. We have a young guy calling plays, which could be fun, could be cool. But at the end of the day, the owner is sitting there saying, general manager will be back. He's our guy. We're lucky to have him. He's very successful. He's under 500. You have a coach that's never coached before. You have all these coaches underneath him that are probably pissed off because if I've been working my way up, Bubba Fatrone and a lot of these guys that have been assistants for 3 to 4 years that are kind of on the brink of interviewing for head coaching jobs, and they just get bypassed for a guy that is on the Ring of Honor, never coached before. I'd be pissed. So what a mess is going on here in Indy. At the beginning, it was like, okay, Frank got fired. Maybe a change. We need a change. We'll see what happens. And now I'm pissed off. Now I'm annoyed. Now I think that this is a joke. I do not think Jim Irsay is making good decisions. I do like the change with the coach. And I like Jeff Saturday. I think it's an interesting choice. But just all the other stuff and all the other things going on, it's just making it very hard to be a fan. I'm not even a season ticket holder. We got offered a couple tickets a couple of times this year, and I didn't go just because it was kind of a pain in the butt and not worth it. The game day experience is so terrible. It is the same songs for the last 25 years, the same contests and things, and it's fine. The stadium's great. The stadium's nice, but like everywhere, it's overpriced. You know, it's just not a great game day experience. Nothing real too crazy and exciting. And I know once they score a touchdown, we're going to get the confetti and the same songs that we've had. Mix it up, change it up, get with the times a little bit here. But anyway, all right. Well, I just want to touch on real quick and say how frustrated I am with my Colts. He fired him over the phone. All this time about talking about family and unity, and we love each other, and that's how you treat somebody. And then you're calling people to be defensive about, we're not tanking. Well, you got a third-string quarterback that was on the scout team, and you just put him in there to play. So, interesting. So, we'll see what happens. But thank you so much for joining me. Have a great Wednesday, and hopefully, if you're a Colts fan, hold on. We're going to see what happens today. Jeff Saturday is going to have a great press conference. He's got a great opportunity. If he does, the thing with him is it's interesting. What's his end game here? Is it to be a coach or is it to be in the front office? Because he has Irsay's ear, like we talked about yesterday. Jim Irsay is listening to Jeff Saturday before he listens to Chris Ballard. And that's dangerous for Chris Ballard, but good for Jeff Saturday. So we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for joining us. And